Chapter 9. With great power comes a great big pain in the kidney. Malcolm enjoyed being a superhero at first. It was fun stopping runaway trains, rescuing lost children, and saving people from burning buildings. Whenever anybody needed help, all they had to do was lift their hands to the sky and cry out, "Yo, Big Malcolm." And Big Malcolm would drop whatever he was doing and zip to the scenes and save the day. It was all good at first, until it started to get bad. You see, after a while, people started to abuse the system. They started crying out, "Yo, Big Malcolm," all the time, and it got old pretty quickly. Malcolm would drop everything, throw on his cap, fly out the window, zip through the city, and arrive at the scenes only to find out that it wasn't an emergency at all. Usually, it was just someone who had misplaced her cell phone, or a kid who needed help with a video game cheat code, or some guy who had accidentally dropped his wallet in the toilet. It was a complete waste of Malcolm's time, and the interruptions were beginning to drive him crazy. But the final show came one evening as Malcolm was doing a synchrotron radiation experiment with his homemade oscillating field particle accelerator. 11 months of research were finally about to pay off. The klystron and electromagnets began to accelerate the hadrons faster and faster through Malcolm's homemade copper cyclone turbine. Soon, Malcolm would be the first person on Earth to definitively prove the Higgs boson's existence and solve the mystery of everything. But then, with his supersonic eardrums, Malcolm heard the cry for help from across the city. Quickly, Malcolm shut down his experiments, which caused the particular accelerator to overheat. The resulting explosion blew a hole in his bedroom 430 feet deep. But Malcolm didn't care. Somewhere in the city, a citizen needed his help. So he grabbed his smoldering cap from the pile of ashes that used to be his bedroom closet and flew to the scene of the emergency. When he arrived, he found a middle-aged woman screaming frantically out of her apartment window. "Yo, Big Malcolm! Help! Help! It's an emergency!" "What's wrong?" Malcolm asked desperately. "Do these pants make me look fat?" asked the lady. Chapter 10. It's a mad Malcolm. Malcolm was angry. Very angry. Since he had become a superhero, he had had no time to do his experiments. He had had no time off, no sleep, no privacy, no time for anything. At that moment, Malcolm made a decision. He decided, for his own sanity, to quit the superhero business once and for all. But getting out was going to be a lot harder than it was getting in. Malcolm needed to find a superhero to replace him. So he made up his mind to locate Captain Underpants, bring him back to Prequel, and let him deal with all the hassles of superhero-dom. Finding Captain Underpants, it turns out, wasn't as hard as Melvin had expected. Melvin knew that George and Howard were usually with Captain Underpants, and Sulu, the bionic hamster, was usually with George and Howard. So, Melvin concluded, if I find Sulu, I should find Captain Underpants. Since Melvin had installed a GPS on Sulu's robotic endoskeleton, all Melvin had to do was run a simple scan on his computer for the GPS device. At first, the scan found nothing, so Melvin broadened his search to include all locations and all times. Finally, Melvin's search paid off. He found Sulu's last satellite reported location down by the schoolyard 29 years in the future. That wasn't too hard, Melvin sneered. But bringing them all back to the present will be a little more complicated. Chapter 11 Dark Foreshadows. Melvin went to his garage and climbed into his glow-in-the-dark time-traveling robo-squid suit. Quickly, the suit powdered up and started slinking and slithering toward the schoolyard as Melvin began the long journey to bring George, Howard, and Captain Underpants back home where they belonged. After solving some surveillance photo issues at the bank, Melvin set himself to the future, fetched everyone, and brought them all back 1 year earlier to the exact time and place where they had departed on their journey in our last book. George, Howard, and Captain Underpants had been through a lot in the past few days, but now it was as if they had never left at all. Everything was just as it had been. The Tugboat Toilets 2000 wouldn't arrive on Earth for another 2 weeks, so Melvin's future as a superhero would never become reality. And nobody was happier about that than Melvin himself. I don't have to be a superhero anymore, cried Melvin happily. I can finally follow my destiny. Peace and quiet at last. But you still haven't told us why you have brought us back, said George. Yeah, said Howard. What gives? Oh, you'll find out, said Melvin with a foreboding chuckle. In 2 weeks, you'll find out. Melvin unleashed a horrible, villainous laugh as his glow-in-the-dark robo-squid suit began to shake and burst. Soon, he and his tentacled time machine disappeared into a bar of electric lights.